Hey, everybody, good morning. Jeff Morrell here in a very bitter cold Colorado Springs. I'm with Shaun Richardson. He's back in Ohio, been in real estate for 6 years, 4 years with eXp. Hit the top rank of Icon Agent the last couple years. We're going to talk about his story, hear how he did it. Stick around, it's going to be good. Here we go. Shaun, good
Jeff, how
morning,
you
my
doing?
friend. I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Good. It is good to see you. I appreciate your time. I know you're busy selling
Great to be on
houses.
here.
Selling houses back there in Ohio. Where are you at in Ohio?
West Central Ohio, so Lima
Okay.
area.
Okay. Because I grew up in Indiana, Kings
Okay.
Island, man. That's where we always used to go.
Yeah,
High school,
about
high
two
school
hours.
trips. Yep, love
That's
the
2 hours south of
Beast.
me.
So love the Beast back in the day. But anyway, it is good to see you. So
Good to
let's
see you
let's
as
hear
well.
some of your story, man. How's business been back there, just in general, real quick, before we get
Business
diving
is
in here?
good. The
Yeah,
last 2 years, business has been so good that I convinced my wife to quit her job and go full time.
there you go. So you're both doing it together.
Yes. So that's
Nice. What's
become the
what's
new
her
thing
name?
is Jessica.
Jessica. Okay. Cool.
So we've been trying to figure out how that looks, working the kinks out and how to best work together.
Yeah, for sure. My wife and I got licensed in 2002. She got licensed in 2005 because similar thing. I mean, I couldn't keep up with the business. I mean, good problem to have. But yeah, we had to learn that. We'd go out to dinner. We'd have we'd try and do a date every week and, get out, keep it fresh. And so, we'd be out to dinner Friday night and having Italian food, whatever. Next thing you know, we're talking about that inspection that happened 2 days ago and how'd that go? And it's like, oh my God, it's a business meeting. Like, stop, time out. We can't do this. So,
Yes.
quick lesson, Shaun. Just leave the business aside. Enjoy your wife. So
Finding that line, right? Where to
it
separate.
can be challenging. Yeah, exactly. So tell your story. What'd you do? How long you been in the business? 6 years,
So six
right?
years, been with
Okay.
eXp for 4.
Okay. Talk about what'd you do before real estate.
So it's funny sometimes how things happen in life, right? So growing up as a kid, life was preparing me for what I'm doing now, and I didn't know it. My dad, he had a paper route when he was a kid, so he really encouraged me to basically have a newspaper route. And so for 6 years as a kid, every day, 7 days a week, I had to do a newspaper route. And on Christmas morning, before I opened any presents, I kicked off my Christmas morning delivering newspapers to everyone's house.
Wow.
By the time I was done, I had over 200 newspapers that I actually delivered to people's doors. And that was preparing me for real estate because real estate can be a 7-day-a-week job sometimes,
Sure.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, that was my childhood. And then my parents decided to homeschool me. And so I ended up homeschooling in middle school till I graduated. And I got really used to working from home. Like as a kid, we had the computers, we had stuff like that growing up. And I got used to being at home and keeping myself accountable.
Okay.
So then I ended up graduating and I go into window cleaning. I didn't go to college. And what I didn't like was I was told several times, that I was overpaid for not having a college education. But I did manage 10 people at a college or at a hospital or at a bank. We would go anywhere in the state. Sometimes we would go to other states and clean windows.
Oh wow.
And I was afraid of heights as a kid. So that was a big deal for me to actually take that step and climb up 40-foot ladders and go up 300 feet buildings, 26 stories. So I learned to face my fear.
That's good.
And
Wait, talk about that for a second, because I
yeah.
think that's it is one of the things. I mean, I don't know. Fear right now is just, I think, gripping people all over the world right now. Unfortunately, I mean,
Yes.
it's just, I've never been one to. I'm like, man, push past your fears. Fear
Yes.
stops you from living life. I mean, it's like, it's just, it's. What about like when it comes to business and stuff? I mean, I think there's a lot of people that would be doing things other than what they're doing right now, but
Yep.
the fear stops them from ever doing it. And I
Yep.
know for me, like growing up, like I never wanted to have that regret. Like, gosh, I wonder what would have happened if I would have blank,
Exactly.
whatever. I'm like, man, I'll learn from it. If it fails, it fails. But
Yeah.
you don't know if you don't try,
So-
and I see that in real estate,
Yep. I mean, growing up, I had a youth pastor. He always told me what fear stood for. He says it's false evidence appearing real. And so when you face that fear, whether it's business or something else, you find out something about yourself as a person, and you learn really quickly that fear no longer controls you, and that you're in control of your destiny. When you get in the driver's seat of your career and you don't sit in the passenger seat, because I think when you're allowing fear to control you, you're not in the driver's seat, you're in the passenger seat. And so once you realize that fear doesn't control you and you're in the driver's seat, you can take your career to new heights. You can do whatever you want.
For sure. I think and I don't know if it's always attributed, I think, to Winston Churchill, although I'm not sure that's correct. You can attribute any quote to anybody, I think, these days on the internet. But I've always heard this, do the thing you fear the most, and the death of fear is certain.
Yep, that's awesome.
I think there's so much truth in that. It's like sometimes just push past it. I remember, like I met my wife at a church I was going to in California when I lived out there, and became a Christian in August of 1992. We met, got married, and went full time in the ministry. I was in the ministry for about 7-8 years out there, and I remember getting up there the first time when they had me get up and speak. Oh my, because going back to high school, if I had it's Friday, it's my day to do my speech in speech class, and it's got to be a 3-minute speech. I wouldn't sleep for a week. Like, oh my God, just get in front of 20 people, So to stand up in front of 300 and speak for 30 minutes, a Sunday sermon, like, I'm absolutely terrified. It was horrible. But I pushed past it. I did it. I was up all night the night before. Did not sleep at all. Whatever, it was like that for several days. But I guess once you do it, I got better and better and better at it. At one point I spoke in front of a group. It was about 20,000 in South Africa.
Wow.
And again, not that you're not nervous with it, but you get up there and you do it, and but it's like that with anything. I remember my first listing appointment. We just go to sit with these people like, oh my God, scared to death. Screwed up this and that, whatever. And I got the listing. My broker was with me. He helped and he jumped in and, whatever. But that's how you learn, And I think there's so many people. There'll be people watching this video over time, brand new agents. There'll be agents been around for 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, all different levels here. But, what would you say to someone like the brand new agent, who's just trying to figure it all out, getting it going, whatever. But those fears are there. Fears of commission, fears of being 100% commission, fears of those appointments, fears of just not knowing, how to answer all the questions, because we're never going to know all the answers in this business.
Never.
What would you say? What would you say to that person that's just kind of like they're holding back and trying to figure that out?
When it comes to real estate, everything's changing on the daily, so you always need to be learning. And if you're new and you want to figure out how to get going, find someone who's already where you want to be and talk with them, be around them, shadow them. Find out what some of their habits are. The habits you create is what ends up giving you the results that you get. So if your habits are just waiting for the phone to ring, it's kind of hit or miss. You may or may not do anything this year. My first 9 months in real estate, I didn't know if I was going to make it. I'll be honest. I only made like 8,000 in 9 months, and I wasn't sure. I was being taught the basics, but I wasn't being taught how to grow my business. And there's a big difference. I was taught how to do the business when you got it, but how do you grow your business? Right. And so what I love about our company, eXp, has helped me, right? Agents helping agents do better, teaching each other, being there for one another. And you mentioned about the public speaking. That was one of my biggest fears. As a kid, I had a horrible experience. I used to go to youth group as a kid, and we'd sit in this circle, and we would all have these answers we'd have to come up with for this questionnaire. And when it got close to me, I would get so nervous. My heart would be pounding. I'd stop breathing. And when it was my turn, I would stutter and stammer, and everybody was laughing. And I'll tell you what, I never wanted to feel that again. It really hurt. Like, it was horrible. And so I never wanted to do public speaking. And so it's ironic that Jay has me do these calls on Thursday nights. And then he had me down in Gatlinburg last year, speak in front of 300 people, like you were just saying.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something that came natural to me. I had to face that fear. So by facing my fear of heights is in my early days, it helped me to realize that fear doesn't control me, and I'm in control, even if I'm scared. But you just need to do it. Just face that fear, and you'll find out who you really are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you have the window cleaning business up until you got into real estate?
So
was that the transition?
I did the window cleaning business until I was about 35, and I ruptured 2 discs in my back. And during the time I was washing windows, I was reading books. Robert Kiyosaki, he's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he's got over 20 books that you can read. And I think I read about 10. And if you don't read any of his books and you only have time to read one, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read that. It's phenomenal. And it was really pumping me up and getting me excited about real estate. And so we had bought some properties to flip. We had bought some rental properties. And I had thought about being a realtor, but I always thought that it would take away from my family, right? I worked 4 days a week, 10-hour days, sometimes longer. And I liked those 3-day weekends. But what I found since getting into real estate is that wasn't the case. I don't spend every night out showing homes. I don't burn every weekend out showing homes. So what I thought the perception was, what held me back from doing what I should have been doing, is not true. So I'm really glad that I gave real estate a chance. But for 2 years, I couldn't do anything. And that was so depressing. So anyone watching this, if you know someone going through back issues, be there for them, talk to them. Let them know you care, because that is one of the most challenging things to get through when you feel like you can't even get out of bed.
Yeah, for sure. So what was it? And has your whole business been in Ohio? Is that where you were born and raised in Ohio? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't born in Ohio. I was born out west in Utah. Okay. But my dad lived here, and we moved here when I was 6 months old. So I've lived here my whole life.
Lived there your whole life. Okay. Gotcha. So your first couple years in real estate, you said your first 9 months or whatever, 8,000 in commissions, there's such a learning curve in this business. I mean, which never really ends. I mean, now we're learning all this stuff about Bitcoin and, how we're going to be tying crypto into real estate. There's, we've been doing classes on that. There's a lot going on. It's always evolving. It's a very alive business, but, the first couple of years, talk about it. I mean, you had somebody did you have a mentor that you latched onto? Yeah,
I did not have a mentor, and I think that would have really helped. So what I did, though, to get going, and I'll tell you guys, I don't know, it just kind of came to me. I don't know if it was a God thing or what, but I was laying in bed one morning, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm going to do videos with local companies and do giveaways and just make it about them. And so I started doing that, and for like 3 or 4 months on the regular, every week I was doing 1 or 2 videos a week with the local companies, just plugging them, doing giveaways. And because what I found as a new agent, everyone that knew me knew that I was brand new, and they didn't want to work with a new agent. People that didn't know me, well, they didn't know me. So how do you get started? Where do you get that? How do you get off the ground, basically? Sure. And doing the videos really helped. And it just got me out there. It got that visibility out there. And then I started having closings, and then, became credible. And then now I'm focusing more on how do I stay in touch with past clients.
There you go. Talk about that. Go a little bit deeper into that whole thing. I love that idea. Like, so you would go out, like, say, like a local business, and you'd kind of promote that business. You do it in video. Yeah.
So I'd walk in. Hey guys, it's Shaun Richardson here at eXp. Really, today I'm here at. I flip the camera around, and such, maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a local, chiropractor, whatever business owners that I started with people I knew. That way it wasn't awkward. Like, hey, I don't know you, but can we do video? So I went to several business owners that I just knew. And they were like, oh, heck yeah, let's do this. And I said, hey, I'm going to put 5 videos together. If you could give $50 towards this, the grand prize is going to be $250. Anyone that hearts and shares and comments on these videos is going to be entered to win. And we had one video get like 30,000 views, and it was shared 1,000 times. And that was just a local restaurant. And I'm telling you, it really worked. And people knew that I was in real estate. When I went to my 20-year class reunion, they actually invited me, even though I homeschooled when I graduated. They reached out and said, hey, we want to invite you. And they said, hey, what do you all do? And they said, we all know Shaun's a realtor. And I'm like, wow, it really worked. Like, doing that worked. Awesome. Yeah. And it was not to benefit me. It was to benefit these other companies. And at first, I'll be honest, it was a lot of work. I had to figure out what's going to go in the video. What are we going to talk about? And then I actually literally had to figure out how to piece the video together, because nobody wanted to do live. I tried to get people to go live, and they were so nervous. And I'm like, I can relate. I didn't want to do live videos, but let's do this. And I got a few to do the lives, but typically I had to piece them together. And so I found this app called Splice, and I'd put video and picture and sound and music, put all that together, and just had fun with it. And the more I did that, not only was I having a good time and helping people now were calling me, people were listing homes with me. I'd run into someone, oh my gosh, I feel like I know you. Like, I've seen your videos. Went to the gym, and someone I knew from school was like, hey, my husband and I were just talking about you last night. We want to buy a house. And so not only did they buy, but they sold their house with me. And had I not been doing the videos, notice she didn't call me. She had to see me in person. So if you're doing the social media, it's not just social media. You need to be doing social media. but then you need to be out and about. You need to be in the public's eye, and go to your coffee shop. Gene Frederick talks about that. Go to your local coffee shop and buy some coffee and just sit there and watch what happens. $50 a week or $50 a month, whatever your budget is, give away some free coffee, make some relationships.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about that. So you saw eXp, you've been at eXp for 4 years. Mm-hmm. When you saw it 4 years ago, I mean, did you make the move right away? Did it take 6 months later you made the move? Like talk about that process. What happened there?
So I moved as soon as I could.
Okay.
eXp was not in my area yet, so they had to open the MLS up. So Jay and Ashley made that happen, and once they got it opened up, it was awkward. Jay and Ashley Nelson. It was awkward because my broker, I wasn't going to tell him, but then he actually called me into the office because some other people were leaving. And he's like, are you leaving with these people? And I said, well, no, I'm not, but I'm actually leaving too. I'm just going to eXp Realty. But I wasn't ready to leave yet. And so here I was in their office for a couple of weeks, and it felt so weird. I felt like we were getting divorced is what it felt like. They didn't even want me around anymore. It was weird, but I don't know. I had to do it. I literally looked at him. I said, I have to do this for my family. Like, I love you. I care about you, but I gotta go. It just made sense.
What was the biggest thing? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people are making the move over here. I mean, we're growing like crazy. I've never seen I've been in the business 20 years. I mean, 1,000 agents a week joining eXp. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I get it. I mean, like, I don't get it when people don't make the move,
Yeah, but once you see it, how do you unsee it?
Yeah. And what got you? What hit you? You said you had to do this for your family. Like, talk about that. Like,
it was the opportunity that eXp presented me. As a real estate agent at a local brokerage, I didn't have what eXp offers. I didn't have 3 streams of income. And when I saw that opportunity, when I washed windows back in the day, I grew their company, and I gladly did it. And I always worked there like it was my own company, but I didn't get any residual income for doing so. But then when I saw eXp and I saw that if you're the kind of person that can grow a company, you can grow residual income. And so that really intrigued me because I knew this was where things were going. Once I saw Gene Frederick's video and I saw that he was willing to sell 6 offices that he owned, one had 500 agents in it, and he joined eXp when it was fairly new. I was like, this guy had everything to lose. Basically, I was going to get a pay increase per deal. I was going to get a chance to make 100% every year. I could earn stock 5 different ways and a residual income. And I'm like, wow, if I went to my broker right now and asked for all those things, he would laugh and tell me to go sell houses.
No, exactly. So how's it been for you being here? You've been here for 4 years. Obviously, your business has done this because the last 2 years you had Icon Agent, which explain to everybody what that is, and what that means.
So the exciting thing about eXp is everyone gets the same deal. No one gets the special treatment. And basically, if you can sell enough real estate, the company will give you back what you paid in the first part of the year, because you do cap. But when you paid in the first part of the year, they'll give that back to you in EXPI stock. And it's just exciting because our company is always growing. Glenn Sanford, he's always finding ways of adding value. So like last year, we purchased the Success Media, which they own the Success Magazine. They're getting ready to open up Success Lending, Success Coaching. They have 3 locations where they're going to have Success, what's it called?
Like workplaces or office places or something. Yeah, and that's franchising all over the country. That's awesome.
So I mean,
I'm excited about that.
And that's owned by EXPI. So when you get to build that kind of stock, that's exciting to be a part owner of a company. When I met Glenn first time in Vegas, I went up to him and I talked to him, and he made sure he called me by my name. He's like, "Hey, Shaun, how are you? How do you like eXp?" And I thanked him. I said, "I just want to thank you for giving ownership to the agents." I said, "I think that's incredible." And you know what he told me? He said, "I feel like if I give the agents what they need, I'll be taken care of too." And I love the mindset. 1, that he's not too big, that he doesn't call people by their name. And 2, that he wants everyone to win. He didn't create a brokerage where it's just about the top dogs. He created a brokerage that's for the new dogs. It's for the top dogs. It's for the average Joe. It's for everybody. Like, he literally wants everyone to win.
Sure. Well, and I love that too. I mean, I've got a couple of people that I'm working with. I mean, 24, 25 years old, just got licensed, and they've got ownership in the company. Like, what does that look like when they're 50? You know what I mean? Like, just in terms of what we can do with that. I mean, my God, I think about all the deals I've done over the 20 years. I mean, it's been, well over a couple thousand between me and my team. I mean, man, if I had stock bonuses with all those deals and stuff. It's just
Yep.
crazy. I mean, I've been here 4 years. That icon status. I mean, again, you hit that. What do you think helped you achieve the growth? I mean, you're still doing your videos. You're getting, and again, there's that growing process with any
Yep.
realtor. You know, your business.
Well,
If you're working it, it goes up. How has eXp helped you maybe take that growth exponential? You know,
basically
because
you've
gone
get
up big time.
leads. You learn how to get more leads. Like there's a funnel, and you need all
Mm-hmm.
these leads to come into that funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing several things to build that funnel up. So one, I'm in a BNI chapter. We meet every week to refer each other business. So I have that referral network going.
Mm-hmm.
EXP agents refer deals to me. I got over a $500,000 deal referred to me last summer from someone down in Texas. Love that about our company. We find each other easily. So I get that referral. Since I joined EXP, I've learned of 4 different referral companies that I can have referrals coming to me on the regular. My phone blows up with leads all the time because of EXP. So as an agent, you want as many deals as you can get. And I'll gladly pay that referral fee knowing that I'm going to cap and then I'm going to get that money back in stock. And then also, Jay and Ashley have always poured into me, and they've taught me how to, because I was doing 30 houses a year my first 2 years at EXP. And what you need is you need people around you, surrounding you, that believe in you. Sometimes they believe in you more than you believe in yourself. Jay would always tell people, this is Shaun Richardson. He's going to sell 50 to 60 homes this year. And I had only sold 30. And it was during 2020, I called him halfway through the year and I said, Jay, I just want to thank you for believing in me more than I believed in myself. He said, why, what's going on? I said, well, I've only ever sold 30 houses in a year. And I just sold my 31st home and it's halfway through the year. And
Wow.
I honestly feel like a rising tide raises all ships. If you're not in the room of people that are going to lift you up, you know what they're going to do? They're going to pull you down.
Yeah.
And EXP is raising that tide for all
sure.
realtors.
Well, yeah, you become who you hang around, you know, and I think, and that's hard for people to understand when they think, well, you guys are a virtual company. You're not hanging around anybody. It's like, it doesn't work that way. I've got more relationships now with agents than I've had in 20 years, you know, which is crazy. I mean, it seems like such a, you know, like, how is that even possible? But, you know, I mean, EXP world, it works. Workplace is huge. The collaboration going on there. The events that we're doing, you know, I'm going to Cabo here in a couple of weeks,
Nice.
which I can't wait. Yeah, it's like 0 degrees here right now. I mean, literally 0. Like, it was below 0 last night. So anyway, I can't wait to get on the plane, and my wife and I head to Cabo for an EXP event. You know, I mean, it's like 3 hours a day for 3 days. We're there for 8 days. You know, it's vacation time, fun time. But you build those relationships, man. There's just, I don't know. The culture here is something else, which I never thought. I didn't even think about that when I came over here. You know,
That's like a huge
I've been
bonus,
working
right?
from. Yeah, it is a big bonus. I've been working from home since like 2009. You know, I mean, so that whole concept didn't bother me at all. You know, whatever. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this thing actually breaks down. It's like, man, the relationships are here. You know,
Absolutely.
it's phenomenal. And the opportunity. So you went from. I mean, did you ever bring any other agents into your other brokerage? Did anybody ever join you? I mean,
I brought a few, and I didn't get anything for it.
Yeah.
I also trained all the new agents. I would tell them, hey, look, I don't know everything, but what I know, I'll help you. And I love that about our company because I can continue to do that, and it compensates my family. And so
you actually get rewarded for it.
it gives you a reason to naturally want to. So like, it's just phenomenal. And I love that we have that opportunity to reach into other people's lives and to help them. Because for me, it's, you know, I brought on an agent that was part-time, and she kept telling me, Shaun, I can't go full-time. I'm a special needs mom. I have a son that I need to take care of. I need regular income. I said, I understand, but you would crush it if you would go full-time. And so it took her a little bit, but she finally did believe in herself enough to go full-time. And not only did she go full-time, she hit Icon her first 2 years full-time.
Oh, wow.
First time ever full-time in real estate, and she hit Icon each year. And to me, I don't take full credit for that, but I love that I had something to do with that. It was just like Jay and Ashley believing in me. I was believing in her. And then I had another person reach out to me, and he was a restaurant manager. His job was eliminated. And he said, hey, is it too late for me to get into real estate? I said, oh, absolutely not. Come on over. So he joined me a little over a year ago. And last year he capped, and he closed an $850,000 deal. Towards the end of the year, got 100% commission on that. And I just love, and this year he's already crushing it. He's got a $2 million deal under contract. I mean, he's crushing it. He's
Wow.
far exceeding any expectations I had of what he could do. I'm just so impressed. And for me, it's finding people that I can pour into, that I can add value into. And then there's nothing more when you have not a whole lot to gain, but yet you get to help someone. To me, that's what it's all about. But I do get something for that every month. We get a nice residual. And I want to share a quick little story. We were talking about fear a little earlier. One of my biggest fears in real estate was getting a hold of that for sale by owner. I mean, I was super scared out of my mind to call for sale by owner.
Right.
And I saw this house and it was a beautiful Tudor home. And I was like, I need to get a hold of this for sale by owner. But I was petrified because every time I had done so, I never got it. I always got nervous. It just wasn't in my comfort zone. So I just kind of skipped it. Well, I finally decided I was going to go for this particular for sale by owner. And I had this moving guide. And so instead of calling, I text. I said, hey, I drove by your house today. What a beautiful home. I got this really great moving guide with tips and tricks to get your home sold. Could I send it to you? He responded back right away. Absolutely. Gave me his email. He said, by the way, if you could bring me a buyer, we would pay you. I said, great. When's a good time? So I went through their house, and about halfway through, I asked him, I said, who do you have representing you to buy your next house? He says, well, we're just going to represent ourselves. I said, well, did you know it's free to you to have a buyer's agent, and I can show you any house that's listed with an agent, and it wouldn't cost you. The sellers are actually going to be paying the realtors. Oh, I didn't know. And so I got my foot in the door. We finished that appointment. 2 weeks go by. I receive an email. Hey, Shaun, we're going to open our house up to list with an agent. At the time, this would have been my most expensive listing. And so he said, would you interview for the listing? Oh, absolutely. So I set up a time, and I had just switched over to eXp not long before that. And so I go over there and we get done with the appointment, and they said, you know what, Shaun, we really just want to list with you. We're not going to interview anybody else. And so I got the listing. Now, if I had been with a local brokerage, that would have been the end of it. I would have sold their house and found them a house, done deal. But what happened was the agent that brought the buyer happened to come from Columbus. And we would talk about the deal. Then we would kind of stop and he'd say, well, I'm kind of interested in this eXp. If you could explain a little bit about it to me. And so I'd tell him a little bit, give him a video to watch, try not to give him too much. And throughout the deal, we would talk about the deal, then we would stop, and then we would talk about eXp and what it offered agents. And when the deal closed, he reached back out to me and he said, I think I want to come over to eXp Realty. And so from a fear that I had of calling that for sale by owner, because I had the proper tool, I had that moving guide, I was able to get a hold of that for sale by owner, get the listing, sell their house, find them a house. And like I said, at the time, it was my most expensive listing yet. But now I get paid a monthly residual check from Columbus. And we now have like 15 agents down there from one deal. And it was a fear of mine. So you never know what's on the other side of that fear. And the residual is covering our house payment, our car payment, things like that. So, and that's going to keep building. We're growing. They're already talking about bringing on 3 more agents here in the next month.
Wow.
I got a couple agents locally that just joined. So to me, that's what it's about. That's why you can't compare splits, because eXp gives you so much more than a split.
Yeah. I hear that sometimes. I'll get on the phone. I'll just, be talking to an agent and just asking them, would you be open to looking at, why 1,000 agents a week or moving over to eXp? Would you, have you ever seen the model? Well, no, but, what are your splits, Well, and I'll tell them, well, I'm at 100% over here. Like, I'm not interested. No. Like, you don't understand. Like, just look at this. I've been over 100% since I've been here. Like, well, that's impossible. No, I'm telling you, you got to see this. It's like, you don't know what you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just like, you just at least look at it. That's all. I'm just trying to, just look. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Totally good.
Yeah.
I'm not here to push you on it, But
exactly.
just look at it. You don't know. But that's awesome. So now, so your revenue share check that's coming in every month, direct deposit, came in yesterday for us.
Yep.
On the 22nd of the month. That covers your mortgage
And the car payment.
And the car payment. How nice!
And then
is that?
some. And there's some months that are way up there. So it's just exciting, and to
awesome.
help other agents do the same is what I want. Because if we can get other agents doing the same, I'm just going to be tickled pink. Like, I want that for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that's my thing. I tell the story all the time. The first guy that I showed this to was a buddy of mine. We were in a coaching program together, Aaron Ken. And Aaron's down in Dallas, had his own brokerage, and started real estate 20 years ago like me. And it was about a year ago. He called me up. Our stock. It's when we had the stock split and all that, and he called me up. He was like emotional on the phone. I thought something was wrong. Like because we become great friends over the years, and his stock hit 1.2 million. Cashed out 1,000 shares, paid off his house, paid off his cars, completely debt free. He's
Nice.
like, 20 years of being in the business. The last 2.5 years here has completely changed our lives. Thank you for calling me and taking me, into the world of eXp. And it's just like, I'm like, that gets me out of bed in the morning.
Mhm.
I just want to tell people about it because,
Yep.
and again, I think when you're excited about something, you want to tell people. We're not selling snake oil here. Like this, there's a reason why 1,000 agents, and these aren't just podunk agents. These are like the biggest and best agents across the country. And where the big agents go, everybody follows. That's what that's what happens. And so, anyway, no, I'm excited about it. Big things are happening. So, well, let me ask you this, and we'll wrap it up here. But 5 years from now, where do you want to be with your business? Where do you see, if you could wave a magic wand 5 years from now, what would it look like?
5 years from now, I want to be vacationing 5 to 6 times a year. I want to be helping new agents because it's my passion. It's what I like to do. And I want to have the freedom to maybe not sell as much as I do now, because last year we got paid on 79 deals. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't want to do that. I still want to do that, but I want to help other agents do the same, because once again, when they're succeeding, I'm going to be succeeding. So I want to help them succeed.
Yeah.
And to me, that's my passion. If I can watch other people win and be a part of that, had something to do with it, there's nothing that feels better than helping others.
Totally. It's absolutely, help enough people get what they want and you'll get what you want. Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, exactly.
I love all those quotes. I got to find something here real fast because here, hold on a minute. I have this because you had 79 deals. You did 79 transactions last year.
Well, I got paid on 79.
Okay.
Some of those were deals I had referred to my agents because I was getting too busy.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me look here real quick. So, like for us, my wife and I, because I figured all this up here a while back. My wife and I, we had 42 closings last year between the two of us. I had a team when I came to eXp, and I'd slowly just dissolve the team because I realized I didn't need it. With this model. There's not to say there's not people with teams here or building. You can build a traditional team if you want to. It's all here. But last year we had 42 closings of our own, but we got paid on 602 closings total. It's like I'm like a broker. I'm like a broker owner, but I don't have any of the headaches of that. Oh my gosh, I never wanted that job. I remember when I left Keller Williams, and people were like, start your own company. I'll come with you. I had all these people, because we did a lot of business. I'm like, heck no, I am not starting my own brokerage. I didn't want that for anything, So a lot of headaches with that, a lot of liability, which we just don't have to have here. So anyway, any last things you want to share? Anything else that you want to throw out at all? Because I totally appreciate your time and respect for your business, what you've been able to do.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here, Jeff. So one thing I want to leave it with is if you're out there and you're watching this and your wife is staying at a job that she doesn't like because of insurance, that was my wife, and she has been able to quit. eXp offers a health insurance. You need to look into it. It'd be very much worth your time. So don't let that hold you back. eXp's got you, and Glenn is always finding new ways of giving more to the agents. And you'll never find a guy that wants to help his agents more than Glenn Sanford.
So agent centric, it really is. Life's too short to just go through 30 years doing a job you can't stand. Just for benefits or different things. It's like, come on, there's got to be better ways to do it. And that's a good point. There are people out there whose spouse is still working, husband or wife, because of that. And I think that's, eXp can help cover that. But then you get those multiple streams of income. Like, what if you could, whether your spouse doesn't have to get the real estate license, but what if you could actually retire your wife out because of that residual income replaces her income?
Exactly.
Or his income. And now you're able to get them out of that job and they can do something else that they want to do, or more time with the family, more time with the kids, whatever. Like, that's the opportunity that's here for people if they really just buckle down and understand how the model works, So
put yourself in a position to have a better life, whatever that looks like for you. If it's vacationing more, if it's buying the house of your dreams, if it's getting your wife to retire, or whatever that looks like. If you have little ones that you want to stay home with, put yourself in that position so that your spouse can do that. Whatever it is you're going for in life, I love that about eXp is it gives you that chance to go for it. I don't miss the days of being told what my hourly wage was worth. I love being in control of that. I love that I can totally do whatever I want this year. And if I want to go for 300,000, I can go for 300,000. I couldn't do that before as an employee somewhere. So,
Yeah, for sure.
especially since I didn't go to college, you know?
Yeah. No, exactly. So that's awesome. Well, good deal. Pushing past fears. I think that's kind of the theme here, you know?
Yep.
Whatever. Step
Absolutely.
outside that comfort zone because, man, life happens outside of that for sure.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, well, Shaun, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for jumping on here. It's been fun.
Thanks for having me on here, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much for giving this a look. Just hit the comment button down there. Throw us a comment if you want. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. We're doing a couple of these a week. I'm actually doing one tomorrow with Gene Frederick, which is gonna be a lot of fun. So, anyway, guys, have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. And Shaun, have a good rest of your week as well. Good year.
Take care, Jeff. Appreciate it.
I'll see you soon. Okay, buddy. Thank
See
you.
ya. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.